Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 anime characters with the most disturbing pasts.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't get the wrong idea about all this. Can't you see? I'm the good one!
What is it I have to do to get rid of this pain?
For this list, we'll be looking at heroes and villains in anime whose childhoods were the stuff of nightmares. It doesn't matter whether they end up overcoming their trauma or they're ruled by it, all horrific origins are welcome.
That's your big mistake. When I fight for me and me alone.
Number 10, The Twins. Black Lagoon, Second Barrage.
So what do you think we should do, Sotomayor?
I guess we have no choice now. We'll call upon an angel for every one of them.
You wouldn't know it by looking at them, but these two Romanian siblings are actually deranged, sadistic serial killers who more than earn their accolades as vampires. Whether by gunning their targets to pieces or torturing them until they resemble a pincushion, these two know how to make a mess. But what brought about such lunacy? Well, that might have something to do with the fact that they were forced to take part in pedophilic snuff films when they were children.
Illegitimate children of a fallen dictator.
So much abuse and death eventually made them snap, to the point that they developed a lust for killing.
Everyone in her life betrayed her! They turned her into a monster!
Number 9, Doflamingo Don Quixote. One Piece.
人間など所詮ゴミ。神の力を宿すこの俺が操ってこそ生きる価値があったんだ。
Don't get us wrong, this guy is still a bastard, and we were more than thrilled to see Luffy unload that Kong gun on him, but you'd have to be a little heartless to not feel any sympathy for what happened to him and his family in his youth. As a former royal, Doflamingo's father took them away from privilege to lead more humble lives. Surprise! The locals string them all up and nearly crucify them as revenge for all the suffering the world nobles have caused them.
浜で全身の骨を折ろう全本の矢を刺そうダメだ簡単に殺すなずっと生かしてもっと苦しめろ
Again, there's no love lost between us and this broker, but seeing his child self nearly killed by a mob, that's hard-hitting stuff. Number 8, Gaara. Naruto series.
I know it must have hurt. I brought you some medicine, if you want.
Get out of here!
He may have managed to turn his life around, even becoming the Kazekage at one point, but this shinobi certainly didn't have it easy. With a demonic-tailed beast known as Shukaku sealed inside him, Gaara grew up in isolation. With the rest of the village living in fear of him, he only had one friend in the form of his uncle, who then tried to kill him.
You did well, Gaara. You did very well.
With his father only continuing to send assassins after him, it's no wonder Gaara shifted into the cruel and merciless monster we knew at the start of the series.
I don't know how it happened, but this guy's been there, all alone, in that same bottomless pit of darkness and pain.
Number 7, Lucy. Elfin lead.
I'll destroy you. All of you.
Prejudice and hatred pretty much consumed this Diclonius' entire childhood. If the resentment over her neglect, as well as the endless bullying she suffered at her orphanage were the fuel, then the spark occurred when her tormentors tried to antagonize her by bludgeoning a stray puppy she adopted.
Keep holding it down!
From that point on, the gloves came off, or vectors in this case, leading Lucy down her bloody path as a killing machine. Even after all the bodies she has left behind, we still can't help but sympathize with her plight, since, as always, humanity were the ones that continued to wrong her from the day she was born.
I'm sorry. It was my fault. Why do I have to be treated like this? Just because I'm a little different? It's not fair.
Number 6, Juzo Uzuya. Tokyo Ghoul series.
だったら試しちゃっても問題ないですよね。
Originally, we thought this CCG member was just plain creepy. Despite his age, he was talented at killing and so obviously off his rocker that he made us feel more uneasy than some of the ghouls. Then we learned his history, and wouldn't you know it, it was a hellish one.
ママ、今日の僕、良い子でした。
As the favourite pet of the exceptionally sadistic ghoul by the name Big Madam, Suzuya was abused and humiliated beyond belief to the point where he was even castrated.
良い子タイム始まり。
Number 5, McGillis Fareed, Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans.
その行為が世界を変える。
Throughout the course of this epic mecha series, we were all under the assumption that this Galahorn member's endgame was to restructure the organization for the sake of justice, to oust all corruption, and actually serve the people just like his hero.
全ての力を束ねる存在。ギャラルホルンのトップ、アグニカ・カイエル。
Then we found out where the idea for his rebellion came from, and all of a sudden we saw this would-be savior in a whole new light. Turns out he wasn't the illegitimate son of a powerful noble, rather a boy toy for the perverse desires of a sick old man.
俺にはまだ力が必要だった。
Number 4, Ceres Victoria, Helsing Ultimate.
Every last one of them will die.
The future fledgling of the Vampire King might have had the singular worst day in the life of any anime character. During her battle with the Nazi forces of Millennium, we are finally clued in to what drove Ceres to become the police girl we all know and love.
It isn't real. It's not real!
After a pair of thugs broke into her house and gunned down her parents, Ceres was also shot and forced to watch one of them defile her mother's fresh corpse right before her eyes. Number 3, Nanachi, Made in Abyss.
見てよ。殺してくれ。
Bondrude, you absolute bastard. We didn't think this beautifully upsetting anime could get any worse after seeing all the gang had gone through, at least until we found out how our adorable Hollow became the fluffy person she is today. Turns out she and her fellow orphan were experimented on by the White Whistle Bondrude, sending them both to the bottom of the abyss to observe its effects.
Nanachi. 見て。
The results turned Nanachi into her more animalistic form, while her beloved friend Miti practically melted before her eyes.
どうか奪わないで。
Number 2, Sakura Mato, Fate Series.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm so sorry. Please forget I asked.
Oh, for God's sake, would someone please save this poor girl already? Sakura has essentially been nothing more than a puppet her entire life. When we're first introduced to her, she's nothing more than a punching bag for her douche of a brother Shinji, all while serving as a future vessel for the disgusting Zoken.
初めの3日はそれはもう散々な泣き叫びようだったが
Oh, and from a very young age, she was forced to lie in a room filled to the brim with mana-stealing worms. The Mato clan certainly know how to ruin a childhood.
What happened to your hand? It's Shinji again, isn't it?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Guts, Berserk.
You've got far enough. Prepare yourself!
Where do we even begin with this one? Yes, he would eventually go on to become one of anime's manliest men, but he had to deal with an avalanche of shit way before he became the beastly black swordsman. Even if you discount the horrific events of the eclipse, Guts has no shortage of suffering to his name.
You should be dead, you little bastard. But instead, Shisu who found you died in your place. And now I'm in this miserable condition. This is like a joke!
Born from the corpse of his mother, forced to take part in war zones when he was just a child, abused in every meaning of the word, almost killed by his father figure, Honestly, the fact that Guts is still standing and is, well, somewhat sane is a goddamn miracle. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.